Hello, BG's Kitchen. I am laying down. I'm not loving the lighting. So, in true transparency, I have been having a rough about week or two, but having a rough week doesn't dismiss your calling. And I feel called to be there for others. And sometimes when you're going through it, the best thing you can do is be in service. Um, so I'm going to start off right away saying if you are struggling, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. I do not take the place of a therapist or a psychiatrist or a social worker. Just here as a little extra. So, someone said something in their post, just a video I was watching about job interviews and stuff. And the sponsor for her video was BetterHelp. I don't know much about them. I did try Grow Therapy, I think. Similar platforms, therapists online, super awesome. But she said she always felt better after talking to a therapist. I want to tell you that that is not always the case. This is not a disclaimer to not talk to a therapist. This is to say, sometimes when you go to therapy and you are doing deep trauma work, you will not feel better when you leave that room. You will feel exhausted. There's a therapy called EMDR where you're digging deep. Again, this is usually for people who've gone through trauma or PTSD, which is trauma. You feel drained. You need a nap, a massage, not to be around people. You are very sensitive. You're very raw, right? You've just touched on things that you've had buried or tried not to think about or pushed away, which is the same as not thinking about it, leave me alone. But things that are very triggering and traumatic. And so if you leave a therapy session and you feel like warped, it means you did the work. Do not feel bad about yourself. Do not feel like this isn't working. This isn't helpful. It's helpful, right? You've got to dig through some things. A diamond has to go through some pressure. That coal has to become through pressure to become the beautiful diamond it's going to be. A pearl has to irritate the stomach lining of that clam to become the beautiful pearl that it is. You have to go through that tough stuff and relive it to some extent and acknowledge that it happened and see what it really means and how it's still affecting you. And it's okay to feel drained after therapy. A good session might do that to you. And I'm not saying you won't feel good after some sessions. That's not what I'm saying. You can have those. And so if you feel great, it doesn't mean you didn't do work. Sometimes those aha moments, even though you're drained, are just like so like, I finally get it. It's uplifting as well as exhausting, right? Even when you do something good, like you ever work on a project that you spent weeks on, and like all of a sudden it's done, you're exhausted, but you're happy. You did the work, you put in the time. And just because you're exhausted doesn't mean you're not happy with the results that you're coming up with. So if you've got deep trauma, if you've got PTSD, if you've got some stuff to deal with, or just some realizations in your life that you're like, oh my gosh, I did not know this person affected me this way. I didn't know the job was doing this. I didn't know I was doing this because of this, this, and that. Those moments can be like, but freeing. And it's okay if after one of these sessions, you just need to be by yourself. It's okay if you need an ice cream, frozen yogurt, acai bowl. I'm trying to think of some healthy ones with it, you know? A fruit bowl with melon. I've been craving melon. It's okay to need a minute. People don't tell you that therapy doesn't always make you feel shiny and happy and joyful. It doesn't mean it's not working. It means that you're doing the work. Another thing, if you're with a therapist where you don't feel that it is working, talk to them about it. Say, hey, this is how I'm feeling after my sessions. This is how I'm feeling during my sessions. I don't feel like we're clicking or connecting. There could be a reason. I had a therapist real when I was younger, and I did not connect with her because she reminded me too much of myself. And I felt that there was and not. So I have a habit of smiling through the pain. No matter what's going on, I'm okay. And I will keep smiling, right? Like you send in the clowns, that is me. So no matter what's going on, I'm like, oh, what's going on? Oh, it's okay. Let's make it better. Right? Like on all the time. It's a lot. And I felt like I couldn't see that mirror. I couldn't see someone doing that to me. This side is so dark. It was too much. And because I was trying to figure out if what I was doing was authentic, she seemed inauthentic to me. Was I putting on them? Like, it was just a lot to see myself in this woman. I can see that now. At the time, I just felt like she was fake. And I was like, that smile is too much. Like, I also felt like she was going through her own journey, and I was like, I can't really deal with your journey and my journey at the same time. It's too much. And so I couldn't feel like I could trust her, but it was about me. Like, I can see that now, that it was a lack of trust in me and what I was going through, and how authentic I felt I was showing up in situations by not being honest and just smiling through everything and not saying, hey, this is too much, this is not okay, this is taking advantage, you've crossed the boundary. And I couldn't see that face to face. At the time, I just thought her smiles were just freaking me out, and I knew what that smile meant, that you were hiding something, and I didn't know if I could deal with that in therapy, seeing that. Sometimes your therapist is not a good fit, and that is okay. I had one who so I've had a couple of therapists, because I'll say, because I'm saying I had this one, that one. I've had a few therapists, not more than 10, but more than one. And this one overshared. And I knew from the beginning that this was not going to be a healthy therapeutic situation. But it was just so nice to have someone who got it, who understood me. Which is why I keep saying to you, like, you need groups and friends and people and someone in your life who's kind of been there, who can just be like, oh, yeah, you showered and that was the hardest shit you did, like, in a month. Fucking get it. Like, totally get it. Sorry for the language. Oh, you got out of bed today and you did the work, or you couldn't get out of bed. I totally understand. Like, it was like taking a breath was hard for you. Some days the next breath is so hard. And I know your body will just automatically do it at some point, but sometimes the idea of breathing is exhausting, and you kind of just hold your breath, not intentionally, but just because the idea of taking another one seems exhausting. Chewing is exhausting. And those are some rough days. Sometimes you need someone to get that you're just having a rough day where chewing was too hard, breathing was too hard, but you did it anyway and you made it through. So with her, I knew, and like when I spoke about it with Sissy, she was like, this is not appropriate therapy. I was like, I know, this is awesome. I just needed to connect to someone for a minute before I started getting back into doing the work. I had not been in therapy for a while, and I'm not exactly sure what had prompted me going back at that time, but something obviously did because I was in therapy. And when I met her, it was just like breath of fresh air. Clearly, someone going through it, but functioning in that mess and helping others through, just not the right therapist for me. And I just knew that it would be more of a sharing session than a getting work done session, which can happen. You can share and get work done because I feel for me, the therapist I needs to give a little bit of themselves so that we can build trust for me to open up and give all of my stuff. Some therapists are strict walls, and that doesn't work for me. That's not the dynamic that I need. I don't need you to tell me what you did on Saturday night, but I need to know that you've been in the trenches too. Like, I need a therapist who's gone through some of this in some form or fashion, or has family that's gone through it. I need a connection. I need a connection. Some people need a guy that have studied it and can just pull them out without getting in the muck with them so they don't get stuck. Because sometimes you risk the oversharing thing. You risk becoming too familiar with a patient. You risk blurring the lines. There's a lot. It's a delicate balance. But for the level of trauma that I've had, I can't share if you're not sharing something too. Right? Like, this is a trust bond. Right? You don't have to give me your everyday nitty-gritty, but I need something. I'm disclosing. I'm raw in front of you. I'm naked. I need something. And I did have one therapist, and I'm thinking, and I cared amazingly in that. I think I thrived with that therapist. They had to leave me because they were blessed with a promotion and didn't have time for clients anymore, which sucked. And she held on to me as long as she could. But the level of care I needed, which was so much more sessions, I was just in a really traumatic place. We couldn't keep up. And I'm not sure how much of herself she shared. I look back now and see that I think we were together for about 2.5 years, maybe 3. We were together during COVID. At the beginning of COVID is like when I met her. And then we did some in-person sessions and did a lot of telehealth. Like, there'd be days like I can't make it in. And she's like, not a problem, we'll just do it on the phone. Which was just awesome that we could transition that way. At that point, I really loved in-person sessions, but some days I just couldn't do it. She didn't share an amazing amount of her life that I would have usually felt needed to feel comfortable. What she did do is validate who I was and where I was in this situation without enabling my behavior. She saw where I was, met me there, acknowledged what I was going through, why I was going through it, and then asked me to push through, and held my hand through the situation as best she could. I was seen by her. And so being seen took the place of needing her to share. And it's not that my therapist that share don't see me, but she saw me in such a way that it made a difference. I have a kid. She was asking questions. We're supposed to be going out. I'm going to go do yoga in a sound bath. I would like to lay in bed, but I do believe it will be helpful for me and for her. All I'm saying is two things. One, find a therapist that works for you. And if they're not, have a conversation. Have the hard conversation. It's okay to do that. It's not easy. That's why I said it's a hard conversation. Write a note. I am famous for writing notes when my words out loud feel too restricting and scary. And I think I might get stuck in my throat and I don't get to say what I want to say and express myself how I want to express myself. Or like I might feel like I might get interrupted, or I might back down and not say the thing. So write a note, read the note, give the note, whatever makes you happy. But have that conversation. And if they don't work for you, have them help you find someone. I had one, as I said, it's been a few. We were not clicking. And it broke my heart because, so you may not know this about me, but I am Caribbean, partially, and partially American, and then married Nigerian. So I feel all of those. I love it. And so I had a Caribbean therapist, and I was like, oh, this is going to be perfect because she understands the dynamic. Even if you're not from the same island, there are some things that are just kind of universal across all of them, right? So I was excited that I was not going to have to explain that because a lot of my therapists were white. White women, white men, but white. I actually had a lot of white women. I think I've had 2 white men, but very few Black and Caribbean therapists. So I was so excited. She's Black, she's Caribbean. I'm like, oh, she's checking the boxes. And then we started. And all the boxes went out the window. I was like, this is not for me. This is not my thing. And she knew it too, which was really helpful. I did have to say it. And she was like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And I've been looking for other therapists for you. I said, thank you. She said, there are some in here that I think will really fit your dynamic and your trauma. And I am just not equipped to deal with the things that you're going through. And I appreciated her honesty. And I appreciate that I was able to say it. And I said, I can't. She said, do you want to stop seeing me? I was like, no, I can't stop seeing you until I have a new therapist. Like, I am drowning. And your hand is the only thing keeping me up. It may not be a sturdy hand, but I'm still above water because your hand is there. So no, we will not stop. But we will find me someone who does work for me and fit for me. So I say that. Find a therapist that works for you. Don't be afraid to ask for what you need. And some days when you're doing the work, you do not feel better after therapy. And that is okay. Take the space you need. Doesn't mean you're not doing it right. It was a hard session. Some real ish got taken care of that day. And it may take more than one session to be over, or whatever that is. That is okay. We did not get this way in one day. Most of us. Most of us is repeated trauma. Some of us is one incident, one moment that changed our lives. That now takes months and years to get over because we don't realize how much it has impacted our everyday. But for a lot of people, the trauma they endured was more than one day. And so it takes more than that to get out of it. And it's crazy that someone can do something for those who have just that one moment. That one moment can change your life, whether it be a shooting, grape, essay, a death in the family, right? Just sometimes that one moment changes everything. And you have so much to unpack because of it. And I think it's because usually that one thing connects a lot of other things that we weren't dealing with also. Anywho, that's all I got today. I am here. going through my own stuff, but helping others helps me help me. And it's important to find community and not feel like you have to be in this by yourself. You are not alone. If you're a family member, you are not alone. I'm here. All right, that's all I got. This is.